Hello there. This is on my other Devin Lockett channel. So now we are simulcasting live on both channels. I'd like everyone who's watching me on this channel, to visit me on my other channel, my main channel, which is youtube.com/Devin Lockett, and join us live. For the people who do frequent me on this channel. I'm trying to consolidate my audiences on both channels and trying to respect both broadcasts right now at the same time. Maybe I can get my camera propped up properly. The cans that I have here on my desk are not quite strong enough to do that. All right, come on. Waiting for some people to join. I really have to get my tripods together before I get started, because I do have tripods that are for these little cell phones. So I'm going to be doing my lives on this channel, basically using StreamYard, using what we have. And today, I'm actually not going to be painting. I was planning on doing a little bit of painting here. As you can see, I'm working on a self-portrait back here in the studio. The coloring is just a little bit off. You have to see it in person to kind of appreciate what's coming out of it right now. But yeah, as you can see, I'll be doing a lot of painting here in the studio. And if you want to check out my personal style and check it out while I'm creating, then I appreciate that. Feel free to join us. Thank you for watching. And it's the Kai Kai Man. That's right. He's enjoying his 4th of July as well.
Yeah.
There you go.
Hello, everyone.
You got to watch him on his channel, youtube.com/Kai Lockett. He's the man of the day, the man of the hour. So don't be afraid. Join us, okay? Click the join link. I put the join link right there in the chat. I guess I can, how do we do this? I guess I can place this in the chat for the other live video as well. Bear with us, people. It's only been 9 minutes. And on this one, I can share the link as well. Well, great. So my sound is coming through here. Cool. So if you're watching me on this channel, then I'm inviting you guys to go and check me out on my other channel, which is youtube.com/Devin Lockett, and join the conversation, or just join the conversation through the link that I'm sharing right now in the chat box. Give some people some time to join in. I don't want to dominate the conversation. Just start blah, blah, blahing. Give everybody a chance to come in. I wonder if that's good balance. No. I'm going to have to figure out a nice prop. Put the camera here. All right, let's do a troll check. Who have we got? Oh, Marco, what's up?
How you doing?
Hey, brother, how's it going, man? Thanks for joining.
Good. How are you?
Very good, very good. So, how's everything going in Switzerland, man?
You know, it's going. It's calm. We don't have as many lunatics here, right?
Yeah.
But happy 4th of July, man.
Same here, man. Same here. Shoot.
I saw your walk through the town. It was a beautiful walk through there.
It's Claremont,
Great.
man. Claremont is making me think a lot, right? Because, like I said, I've been seriously thinking about giving up the storefront. Okay, because I just want to go back to school. I like being in a college environment. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Actually, Claremont. Wait. Where's the store and where's Claremont? I don't get it. Is that
My store is right down the street. It's right down right down the street from
Oh,
Claremont.
it's Claremont. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I mean, I'm on Foothill Boulevard. I mean, it's literally down the street.
Yeah. I mean, so I know a lot of people who went to Claremont College. I mean, they seem to have a lot of good programs that are respected internationally.
Oh, absolutely, man, and especially with what I'm doing. I've visited two of the colleges have independent neuroscience programs. One is in neuropsychology, and the other is in neurophysiology.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I spoke to the deans of both of those schools, just asking for interns, right, back in the day.
Yeah.
And they both seem like really, really interesting programs. I've gotten to the point now that I don't even think about what I'm going to do, with the education. I think it's just the process. I just enjoy the process of, I was explaining to Kai, I'm like, one of the saddest days and happiest days that you're going to discover is when you realize that you're never going to read all of the books in the library. Or,
Yeah.
you're never going to visit every country in the world.
Unless, yeah.
You know.
The thing is, unless you're looking for a very specialized skill that you're going to be using over and over, right? Like, say, you want to do a certain kind of neurosurgery, then yeah, you need to actually get through and study it, or even a trade or a craft, right?
Yeah.
But the truth of the matter is, anything that's sort of social science related is, as we're seeing right now, is in a flux, and it's in a rate of change where the curriculum is not able to teach what's really happening. So it's not like, it's behind, right?
Yeah.
So basically, it's really only hopefully at the universities where you can get in front of what's truly happening in these areas.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, in the social sciences as well as in the real sciences, the STEM sciences as well. I was just I've gotten hooked on this channel, man. You're gonna check this out. The Corning School of Glass. And it's in Corning, right? It's in the city of Corning, and these guys are just they're different artists and artisans blowing glass, man. And
Oh, no.
yeah, I mean, and it seems like such cool. One of the things I like the most about studying at Otis, right? It was just getting in and having studio time, right? Just getting in and just working for its own sake, right? And just being creative for its own sake. I could seriously get into glass blowing,
That's good. Look at that.
Yeah, I remember the ceramics majors at Otis. Those guys always had money, and they sold all of their projects, even their student assignments.
Yeah. The ceramics is interesting. It has a lot of application in different sorts of industries, right? So,
Yeah,
So
and every piece you make has utilitarian value, if nothing else, as a flower pot.
yeah, exactly, or some art, yeah.
Yeah, you
Um,
know.
so the on the STEM, there's a lot of science related jobs here in Switzerland, particularly because of the pharmaceutical industry and the chemical industry, right?
Yeah,
Because because of its position, it has reach in these areas, right? Now, not everyone in science has to be like scientists, scientists with a yellow, with a white apron kind of thing, right?
yeah,
For the most part, when I talk to these people who studied science, what they're really doing is collecting data, right?
yeah.
So basically, most of them are either collecting data or correlating data or so on. And the very few at the sort of faculty level where it's actually becoming more kind of philosophical,
Right, right.
as far as science. But the thing is, science is the have you done data science as well too?
I haven't, but I mean, I understand how it works.
Yeah, okay, so you understand how it works. So basically, the thing about science is you collect all these different samples to try to
Oh, for the
derive.
scientific method, yeah, of course.
Yeah, you're trying to derive knowledge out of this, right?
Right.
So kind of understanding how data, how to manage and analyze data is a huge part of it already.
Yeah, I remember when I was in science class in college, we did a study. Well, it was a study that I chose, and it worked out great because the numbers were pretty much almost 100%. The difference in health levels between the people that we saw statistically coming into McDonald's versus going into Subway. Both of them were right across the street from the school. And doing an honest assessment of morbidly obese people.
Yeah.
And man, McDonald's was off the chart.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Why is that? Do you know why?
Oh, just people, unhealthy people have unhealthy eating habits.
No, is it what? Do you know what it is about McDonald's that's causing this? Is it some ingredient or the frequency?
I don't think it's the. I don't think it's the. I don't think it's the food necessarily. It's what it represents, right? It's what it represents. It's the fact that the person who doesn't mind spending $2 on the 99-cent menu just to put a McDonald's garbage in his mouth is also going to be putting a bag of chips in his mouth later on.
It's the habit. It actually. It's a habit.
Person, that person.
It's a habit that it enforces, really.
Right.
Yeah, that's it.
And the person who would take time doing his fast food decision making, where to spend this $10, because it's the same $10, right? Where to spend this $10, the person who makes a decision to say, let me seek out a sandwich at Subway, is going to make better decisions later on in the day when it comes to preparing his own meal.
Hey, that's right, because it takes more effort to get to a good Subway. McDonald's are in every corner. Gotcha. Yeah.
And it takes more time to watch them make the sandwich and go through the whole deal and and be in line with other people. So, but hey man, what's the word out there about Roe versus Wade? Is anybody talking in Switzerland about it?
No, I mean, I think it depends on who you talk to, right? Because the same sort of press where, our rights are gone, panic, sort of stuff, because the Nazis are here. You see some play in there, but then when you kind of explain, wait a second, they actually didn't do anything. They only kind of pulled themselves out of it.
Right.
People start to make you realize how uninformed and uneducated people are all over the world on how government functions, how checks and balances work, right?
Yeah.
And all this stuff, just off the charts, and it goes back down to fucking everyone who's not American thinks they understand America, right? That's so silly, but they don't actually understand the complexity and the history of this whole thing, right?
Right.
So even in America, the headlines, it's like, what the fuck? What country are they living in? They don't understand that the federal laws versus the state laws. They don't know the difference.
That is really the ignorance is scary, man.
Oh, it's totally scary because all these people are talking about our rights, and then they want a strong federal. It's like, well, that's how you lose your rights, right?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And now, you're seeing the "my body, my choice," and I'm like, does that apply to the vaccines?
Yeah, exactly right.
You know what I mean?
Dude, the whole thing is it's clear. Like if you even look at the January 6th thing, it's for an immediate reaction, and that's what they're trying to. It's the fast food shit, right?
Right.
It's the immediate impulse that they're trying to harness, right? Be angry, that happened. No explanation of what the ground, what the thought is, or what underneath it. Not even a second thought to maybe deepen your understanding.
And
Don't do that because that's it.
And still trying to pull it back to Trump. Still trying to use it.
I mean, he's gone. Trump is gone, but he's still, yeah, exactly, right?
He's not even thinking about it. And most of the people aren't even thinking about trying to put him back in office.
Exactly. And the thing is, that's all they have. And then you see gas prices reaching over 7 now, LA, California. It'll probably go to 10, right?
See, that's what I'm saying, man.
They want to carry this. They want to carry this over to election time to November. Hopefully, people are not stupid, right? And then the women, there are a lot of stupid. I hear about them. There's a lot of really stupid women out there who think that, don't even try to explain it to me, right? It's like, what? I'm trying to explain it to you.
Yeah.
That's a man's explanation.
Yeah.
No, it's not. It's just an explanation.
Did you see the My Body, My Choice protesters that we walked by during the Claremont?
Oh, I saw part of it. I wasn't looking, but I heard. I figured there's a bunch of how should I say? A bunch of girls from high school entering college, sort of coming to realizing, you mean I have to alter my sex life now?
And the professors, right?
Yeah, wait a second. That means you can't,
Because remember, those professors were in college during all of those years that it was legal. So
exactly.
They can't even. Their heads exploding right now. They can't even.
Exactly. Yeah. And some of these girls, where's my pathway to an A?
or where are all these black guys everybody's been talking about? No. Can't do that either.
That was it, the black.com.
Yeah. That's not as easy to black out of either, is it what? See, that's the thing, man. I mean, is it legal in Switzerland?
What?
Abortion.
Dude, I mean, yeah, it's legal in Switzerland. It's legal. So is euthanasia. So is self-assisted suicide, right? And then the thing is, and this is where really
euthanasia with the elderly person's consent.
Of course,
which is basically assisted suicide, right?
Assisted suicide.
Okay.
I mean, most of Europe, they're actually even lower. Yeah, these guys are perfect. I mean, they're fucked up. But the thing is, though, the difference, though, is that they try to keep this stuff just on the down low. They don't go around trying to fucking broadcast it to everyone like I got an abortion,
Yeah.
Because this is actually, to be honest with you, they fucked up because when Trump was president, the people in Virginia wanted to have a third trimester abortion law permission where they did not even need to qualify the reason, right? It doesn't even have to be life-threatening, right?
I just changed my mind.
Huh?
I just changed my mind.
About what?
That's what I'm saying. You want to be able to terminate a pregnancy.
Well, I mean, up to birth. That means the day before the birth.
Right.
I mean, that's a baby in there, So basically,
man, no. But here they're actually talking about the day of.
Even after.
Yeah.
Huh? Even after, exactly, right? Yeah. So basically, for the longest time, this didn't really start off that way. Roe versus Wade was about particular instances, and there were certain areas about a certain number of weeks. Has it gestated and all this? This was the thinking, right? So what happened was the Democrats started pushing this in Virginia. Even the governor was on it, wanting abortion up to birth, optionally for no reason whatsoever, no reason. So basically, it was defeated, right? But Trump back then, it was in 2019, you can probably still get it. Trump said, this is really going to animate the anti-abortion movement, right? It's going to fire him up, right?
Yeah.
It did. So what happened after this is each of these states, from Ohio to Kentucky to Mississippi, they started pushing abortion restriction laws, right? And that's where this case came from. And that's why,
because they took it there. They took it there. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, because they basically wanted infanticide.
Right.
They wanted to,
right. They basically wanted infanticide.
Exactly.
Which basically shows you at the core what their root philosophy is all about.
Oh, totally. It's what it is they're gaming quick impulses of non-thinking people. And the thing is, there's many layers of this, right? There are environmentalists, right? There are environmentalists saying we have too many people. America's consuming too much. This and that. We have greenhouse gases. The
and
price
then,
of
course,
meat.
the original eugenicists who came up with the idea in the first place.
Totally. Exactly. That's the same party, man. The same thought, and you can actually speak to them. I've spoken to them. There's a lot of that thinking here.
Arrogant leftism
on the science level. On the scientific level, they think, oh, we on planet Earth, statistics say that if we don't curtail our use of meat and shit like that, right?
Right.
That we're headed towards a catastrophe.
We have not only the knowledge, but we have the right.
We have the expertise because I'm smarter than you are, right?
Yeah.
And then I have the political connections, I have the cash, and I have the snobbiness to do it, all kinds of fucking
arrogance.
The arrogance,
yeah.
That's the real white supremacy.
That is exactly what it is.
No, that's white
it's
supremacy.
That leftism. It's not in conservatism. It's actually
it's not in the guy in the. It's not some farmer in the back, man. It's not. It's not like some farmer with a shotgun, the white supremacist.
No. The white supremacist is telling you that you shouldn't even have your children. That your children, that his children should not be bothered with your offspring in the future.
I mean, not only that, man. I mean, they're sitting in banks, they're sitting in the UN, government institutions in Davos and all this shit, right? Yeah. I mean, these are people who feel like, we are gonna manage the world, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then their thing is, all these religions have failed. We will succeed where they have failed, but kill half of them off.
I know. I mean, this is really sad. But see, there are actually a consensus of people that really do feel this type of horrible stuff, man. Like
not only that, the worst part, Devin, is they think they are morally superior in this process.
That's the sick.
Only because they think, because I'm more concerned than you. You see, I didn't offend them.
Right.
I mean, he's gonna kill them, but I didn't offend them.
Right.
You know what I mean?
They presume because you haven't had theirs. Well, they presume that you haven't had their same indoctrination.
Exactly, and then on top of that, their rationale is: wait a second, you are of a persuasion that's from an archaic world that never. You believe in God, really? That killed lots of people. So basically. Right off the bat, they consider themselves more moral than God, you see.
Oh, man, believe me.
Bro, this is Lucifer. It's Lucifer. That's what it is. That's Luciferianism,
Dude, how can you be young in L.A. and try to get laid without having to deal with that bullshit? Remember?
Bro, dude.
Come on, man.
In L.A., everyone is freaking, you're so nice and moral to, whatever, the minority. Out in the open, but what they're really like in truth.
Oh
right?
my God! Remember Monique Alpercine? She was fucking beautiful, man. But then it's like, you got to neuter all the cats, and I'm like, whoa, yeah, Remember, I was like, you're not gonna touch homie's nuts, man. What's wrong with you? They got
the black Jewish girl, the
beautiful man with the big lips and the big tits and everything. She was hot, man. Yeah. She was hot, but it's that leftist. It's that California leftist. I hate to say the word. Ashkenaz.
It's a superiority complex.
It's a total superiority. It's the cultural elite, social elite, the so-called intellectual elite, and as people, I can tolerate them. Because I like having, good intellectual conversation, right? I like smart people, right? But they irritate the fuck out of me with their arrogance and the fact that they think that they have the right to shove their shit upon the rest of the world.
Oh, dude, these are the ones that are actually popping and having breaking points because apparently there are certain things they cannot stand having a mirror put up to them.
Yeah. No,
I mean,
they
if you
can't.
really showed out what it is that you're really doing, it's like, wait, we're the good people. That can't
Right.
be.
And they already have everybody understood. So
Exactly.
if they can't, and you can see them, man, when you talk to them, you can see them trying to put you in a box. They're trying
Of
to
course.
figure you out. Like,
Yeah,
oh,
of course.
he's a,
Right. And then
he's
they
a-
don't. The fact of the matter is, they don't care who you are. You just, you fit in that box. It's your box, right? They don't care about people, right?
No.
Like, how many times online they see like Marco Gonzalez or something like that because it's a Mexican guy. You should be thankful. You should be thankful they let you in California.
but see, the beautiful part about it is, man, this is what's really, really, you know, I say some people just want to sit back and watch the world burn. This is my chance to sit back and make some popcorn because I'm a Catholic, right? You're a Catholic, you understand, okay? All of the Gonzalez and the Gomez and everyone who you're importing, they're all Catholic like us, and they're conservative family people with family values, and you're not doing what you think you're doing. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
You're trying to pull in a bunch of people that you think, oh, they're going to be so loyal to us.
They decided, man. They decided it's basically the white cis white against the world. That's what they decided.
That's what they think. They decided to make it that. Right.
Decided, okay.
Now they're going to say, okay, now let this tranny read to your children.
Exactly, right?
No, senor. No, senor.
No, I do.
You're not going to do that, senor.
Really. To sort of see people stand up and actually kind of prove them wrong because they get so self-convinced and absorbed about their position that
yeah.
Right?
And let's not even begin to discuss from Arabic countries.
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh. You're not even.
They haven't even stood up yet. They
No.
haven't even started speaking out yet against this.
Well, the funny thing is that Chinese are actually just fucking laughing, right?
Of course they are. That's what I'm thinking too, right? They actually have a name for it, right? They have a name for it's like white liberal, but it's like a particular term, and they're joking, they're laughing, saying that these people are going to be the destruction of the West.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. They actually got a term. I was watching one of those Fox guys talking about it. Tucker. It was Carlson.
Yeah.
He was talking about it. Yeah, I forgot the term. It's like, yeah, there's a term that they actually talk about it in the Chinese media, saying that that arrogant white leftists are the ones that are going to bring about the destruction of the West.
Yeah, right.
You know?
I mean, it's actually when you see someone in any country, in any culture, who's like a fucking rat, right? It's like, what a fucking dirty rat. It doesn't matter. It's like, what a nasty human being, right?
Yeah.
You know that, right? And then, okay, like if it helps you because they're hurting your enemies, yeah, okay, whatever. But push comes to shove, those are the first ones you take out, right?
Yeah.
You can't trust them.
Yeah. Honestly, man, what a real good statesman would do right now, because I mean, understanding China's politics, I can understand why China is making the decisions that they're making. I mean, it makes total sense.
Oh, totally.
So it's totally logical. And given the size, I mean, if we want to think demographically, given the size of the population, the influence that they're about to take over the world is inevitable. There's nothing we can do about it.
Yeah, it is.
There's nothing we can do about it. And instead of sitting here and going behind fruitless, pointless things like Ukraine, really, let's be honest, man.
Totally, man.
I mean, let's be honest. Okay.
Waste. I mean, we're hurting for this shit. It's manipulated stuff, man. It was bought out. I mean, that was a package that's been bought.
Then let it be the new world order. Sit down in private between us. I don't even say Brandon, but us, Ping and Putin, and just say, hey, look, okay, you do what you got to do in the eastern states. China, you go ahead on and take Taiwan. We're going to annex Cuba and Mexico right quick.
I mean,
that's a new world order. It is what it is. while you're crying about Ukraine, you might as well cry about Cuba. You might as well cry about Mexico, and just get it over with. I mean, because if we're having conditions of mass migration, then maybe there needs to be some better management of the land that you're presently residing upon right now.
Sure, right, but I think the whole mass migration thing is just kind of. I mean, I guess what's going to happen is it's going to even out with the rest of the area. I mean, there's going to be what maybe people don't realize is that basically I think we're going through what it's starting to look like Brazil, basically, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the U.S. It's basically Brazilification of the U.S. So there's not going to be a lot of difference between that, and it may actually be more attractive to move to Mexico.
Right. Yeah. A lot of there are Americans that are doing that. Yeah,
because why wouldn't you? Because first of all, the landscape's better. People are nicer.
That's what I'm
cheaper.
Saying. That's what I'm
It goes
saying.
a long way. Why the hell would I put up with these assholes in these cities in America?
If there's a border that you don't respect, the inevitable effect, right, is going to be enmeshing anyway.
So, exactly.
So why not just officially enmesh?
So exactly. So in the areas around near Mexico City, around the coast of the Pacific, there's some beautiful coastal towns there, man.
Dude, Baja California? Are you kidding me?
No, even before on the other side of Baja, across on the Mexico City side.
On the southern side. Yeah.
There's basically throughout the whole area, man.
Cabo, yeah.
Even on the other side of well, anyway.
Off the peninsula, onto the mainland, yeah.
Onto the mainland, all towards Guatemala. Any of these coastal towns can have freaking potential, right? To be really beautiful, right? So a lot of it is that trying to manage and to it's I can understand what Mexico's like. It's a little bit like the Philippines, man. Anything can be bought.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Anything can be bought.
Yeah. But the Philippines don't sell land to foreigners, which is good. Yes
and no. They do. They do sell. Like, for example, they do if you were married to someone. Sort of thing, right?
Yeah. Or if you're in a partnership with someone that's there. Yeah.
I mean, because some of these islands are really small and they're really beautiful and they get overpopulated. To have unlimited people moving in would really fuck up the ecosystem in this area, right? And I gotta tell you, man, Duterte came in saying, the drug trade that's coming in, the narco states that are pumping, if I see a drug dealer, I'll just fucking kill him, right? He ran on this idea that these drug addicts, I'll just fucking put them in jail and kill them, right?
Yeah.
CNN were like, right?
Dude,
he's revolutionized the Philippines, bro. No, I'm serious. The difference, he turned it around so much. He got the Filipinos voting for Marcos again. I mean, seriously. No, seriously. That he wanted because actually that's Duterte's job. That's his legacy because the vice president is his daughter, right?
So wait. Duterte, the one that sent the hit squads out, not him, his son, right?
No. Duterte is the president who said that he would send out hit squads.
Right.
Apparently. Right.
But
the fact of the matter is, those hit squads exist no matter what.
Right.
Okay. And they were already in place, right?
Before he became president.
In different factions. In fact, the drug bureau have their hit squads. There are people dying left and right for reasons we don't even know.
Right.
But what happened with Duterte is that all of that got blamed on him for apparently or something, right? Yeah. But he was giving people a chance. You want that, right? You want to clean up, or do you want that? You want to go to jail? You want to clean up, or you want that, right? So it caused a lot of people to say, "Fuck, I don't want to die," right? And then you see some crowded scenes of crowded jails of these drug addicts, man, singing YMCA. It's a fucking hilarious. Seriously. But I gotta say, it did clean up the situation, though. It did cause crime to fall drastically, and people started cleaning up the streets, right?
Sometimes you need some definitive leadership, man.
Oh, totally, man. In fact, people were actually grateful to Duterte for having cleaned this up, because Manila is actually visitable. You can actually go down and feel like you know,
You're safe. It's a place that, yeah.
you can actually go for vacation now,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
It was a mess before, but the thing is, now what's remarkable is how he was able to turn the whole thing. He actually ripped this out of the whole liberal world order, right? You know, there was this one journalist who was in prison, Marisa Ressa or something like that, for CNN, a reporter for CNN, and she was put in jail, and then people managed to sort of get her out. And she won the Nobel Prize apparently, or something like that, you know. But after Marcos won, she started. She was getting funding from Soros and Hillary Clinton.
Really?
Right? To go back and start causing a lot of discontent and other things. They closed her down. Hillary Clinton just made a statement how free speech and this and that and the free press and so on in the Philippines need to be respected and all this shit, right? But anyway, that shit's just getting that's really what's facing collapse. All this shit of January 6th where our democracy is at stake. Our democracy is not at stake, man. It's actually their grip on power. You know, the establishment of power.
That's all it is. That's all it is. Yeah. They're trying to figure out a way that we can make the inevitable transition due to the technological advances that are coming and maintain their position above us.
That's exactly it. That's exactly it.
Yeah.
How to hold the position. But
their idea of a smooth transition is a transition within which they maintain power. Thank you for joining me over here. Come on, click on the link in the chat and join us in the online in the chat room.
Oh yeah, people there.
Yeah, we're getting more people watching. Waiting for more people to start commenting. But yeah, man, it's really a trip. I mean, I'm surprised to see it. I think what's happening right now is a conservative backlash in the world. And it's going to be kind of hard to ignore. Now, we're going into another election season. We've got Roe versus Wade. Did you hear the comments that Clarence Thomas made?
I love Clarence Thomas, man.
He's badass, man. He's gangster. He's gangster.
Dude, no, he doesn't. I don't know if people realize this. He saved the country.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Let me see.
I mean, look,
let me see if I can.
What's your user list?
Hold on a second. Hold on.
Okay. So, but which comment were you asking him about Clarence Thomas?
Oh, well, he was saying that next we're going after gay marriage and
right.
Yeah.
So right, okay. So, and then I don't know about the contraceptive part, but I think what it is all the laws that were based on that. It's kind of changing.
I'm like, hey, now.
Yeah. Did he really say that?
Yeah.
But I don't. Okay. I don't think he. The thing is, what he did is actually pull the federal government out.
Right.
So I'm not sure how that vibes with going back in.
Well,
now,
it's going to balkanize the country.
That's the whole thing. If a state says, we're all Alabamans and we don't do that shit or something, well, the federal government can't do anything in Alabama. I don't know,
It's funny. I mean, like you see that Putin just passed some law against the whole LGBT agenda being pushed in schools in Russia.
Right.
And like I said, I don't think China's too smart, man. They're not falling for it.
They banned K-pop in China.
Really?
Yeah, because the boys are too effeminate, they say.
I gotta give him a high five for that.
Because the amazing thing about China is they can apply some sense, right?
Yeah.
But no one's going to argue with what, right? They're not going to spend half an hour arguing back and forth with bullshit.
It's the same as the so-called what they used to call the loony conservative Muslims, right? The fundamentalist Muslims, man. They were keeping the balance. They were keeping the balance. They were calling the truth. If you look at the programming that comes on their television program in Iran, right? In the way they talk about Zionism and the way they talk about, of course, it's conspiracy theory on steroids.
Yeah,
but they're spot on, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, because the thing is, man, I cannot. It doesn't really. I agree with the sort of people call it balkanization, but I think everyone should be able to do what they believe is a solution to their societal problems.
Yeah.
I don't think it's fair to actually say we don't have problems with these guys in America, therefore you gotta let the effeminate ones in there or something. But it's like. That's not in our place. The problem is this LGBT stuff. They were using this to blur through all kinds of social norms worldwide.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, they were getting to the point of affecting our language, and that's going too goddamn far.
Oh, dude, they're not done yet, right? They still have a lot of adherents, right? The problem is that you get a lot of people who are consumed by the media. The media owns their brains. They're like, these are fucking boards.
I know.
Right?
I know.
And so I think what you're likely to see is, I noticed that even during the pandemic, people who were highly educated, or had a really good position in the company, in a corporate company, and that were more susceptible to towing a party line because they have more at stake in the system, right? The problem is people who are more kind of independent and can do their own stuff and pull their own way tend to be more rebellious and say, well, I'm not beholden to, this thing, right?
Yeah.
Like the guys like you are more independent, right? So it's like, well, I don't want a vaccine, right?
Right.
They don't have the guts to say that,
They can't. They're too tied in.
Exactly.
Yo, man, they're actually, keep going. They're actually talking about how the drop in military recruitment, but that's because they're making the jab mandatory.
Not only that, who wants to fight for these guys, right?
Right.
NATO was talking about increasing troop levels to 300,000, and then I'm thinking if you look through most of Europe, I can't think of anyone wanting to fight for anything.
Right.
There are no men who want into that. A few and everything, but it's not like there's a cause that they believe in, right?
The thing is, right, when you really, really understand it for what it is, right, NATO was just a push toward globalism. It was a European solution to Russia brought to you by the banks.
Oh, totally.
Brought to you by the banks. And that's why Trump didn't support NATO, man. We pour all of that money into NATO and the United Nations, and those people want to undermine the sovereignty of the United States.
You think about it, Trump's impeachment was tied to Ukraine, right? Money goes to Ukraine. Biden and Ukraine and all this stuff and all these things tied to Ukraine. The thing is, you see, Ukraine generates a lot of natural resources, food, energy. It's an economic powerhouse, right?
Yep.
That's exactly what they were trying to go after. They were like, it's not because of our people and we support this. It's actually it's the resources. It's a resource.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Hold on. I got more watchers on the channel watching us.
Who are the watchers?
I don't know.
Oh.
I wish there was a way to tell.
Oh.
Yeah, so I'm just thinking, man. I don't know if this economy is gonna, because at $7 a gallon of gas, people aren't buying CBD, man. Not like they could be, not like they should be. And I don't.
You mail it to?
Huh?
Can you mail it to them?
Yeah. I don't mind drop shipping. That's not really the issue. It's just getting the sales up. I mean, it's people don't have discretionary income, and I don't know when if the gas prices are going to come back down to something reasonable like $3-4.
Wow. So it's eating into that.
It is. It's eating into. It's actually slowing down the economy, brother.
Wow. Wow.
Which is a very unfortunate thing. And
Yeah.
and I don't know when this is going to let off. I'm doing my best to make the storefront location worthwhile by doing a lot of filming in it, a lot of video broadcasting, YouTube, podcasting and stuff.
I see.
But the bulk of the money that pays for it is coming from other things that I can really do from here. I can do from home. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm doing a lot of traveling. I'm getting ready to go up to the southern corner of Colorado and on a service call. So I'm taking Kai with me. We're going right past the Four Corners. Where what is it?
Utah. Wait,
Yeah,
where?
Utah, Colorado,
Yeah.
Nevada, and Arizona. Yeah, I think that's the four. And
It gets hot out there, no?
it's going to be hot, and we're going to swing by the Grand Canyon, take a look in the hole
Nice.
too. Yeah.
Zion, you ever go to Zion? Or Bryce Canyon is really cool too.
Bryce Canyon, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll go check that out, and that's going to be around the 15th of the month, 15th of July.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm halfway through the year, man, and I'm thinking, well, shoot, man, do I want to do this, or do I want to spend a day walking around campus and working out at the gym? You know what I mean? And studying and just doing what I want to do.
I mean, clearly, man, things are changing somewhere, right?
Yeah.
If you can get an idea of which way or where it's going, right, you can actually help prepare in that direction. What could be troublesome is trying to prepare for something that doesn't exist anymore, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? And wondering what's really going to happen, because it's this is going to be one of the most interesting elections, this midterm that we have coming up. Yeah. And the next presidential election is going to really, I'm really hoping that we make it till the next presidential election without the eruption of absolute chaos out here, man.
You think anybody could get disrupted even?
Well, the both sides are pulling hard. I like friction. I think Americans are made for friction, right?
Oh yeah.
But when you combine friction with censorship and oppression, right, of communication, then now you're leaving us no choice but to fall back on the Second Amendment, right? If you fuck up the first, then now you're leaving us no chance but to pull out the second. You see what I'm saying? And friction is okay as long as we maintain our freedom of expression, right? Yeah. Y'all can want to kill babies up till the 10th grade or whatever, and we can say you can't do that, and you can't get married, and you can carry guns anywhere you want. And we can just keep fighting back and forth on those issues as long as we can still talk to each other. But when the side that seizes power follows up with a gag, then
you see, man, look, I think the problem is the polarization, right? Where you say the pro-choice, supposedly. You say pro-choice, but then the extreme side, they're saying abortion up to the day before the birth, right?
Kindergarten or some shit. Yeah.
And then the other side is like, wait a second, it's pro-life, right? But the flip side is no matter what's going to happen to you, right?
Right.
Even if you die in childbirth, it's pro-life. You know what I mean?
Long as the baby's born, right?
Exactly. You would think that it was a discussion between these two sides, which it really isn't, though, right? I think most of us, we know that. Look, it's we're more temperate than that, right? But the discussion's not allowing us to be. Meaning, look, you fell on this side, you must be on the pro-life side because those are baby killers. Oops, you like choice? Oh yeah, because those are the Hasbro tales. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the fact of the matter is, that around the middle, you're like, wait a second, this is something you really shouldn't choose, right?
Right.
Well, but if it's really going to ruin your health, I mean, if it's really going to kill you, that makes sense. For example, right?
The founding fathers had enough wisdom to understand that because this land is so big and so diverse, right? That they even back then, man, they already knew that Asia had a hell of an influence on the western coast of the United States. Back then, before the annexation of California. They always knew that you're going to be dealing with Texas and New Mexico are going to be full of Mexicans. I mean, that's just the bottom line. And so people are going to think differently depending on the region within which they live.
See, the problem is that that's how it should be, right? Mm-hmm. You should have local communities,
as much local power as possible. Yes.
Yeah. And tolerance is about accepting how it is, when in Rome or something like that, right? So basically that's how they do it there. They have a culture. That's right.
If people in Texas want to have a dry county and they don't want to have alcohol sold in their county, God bless them. That's their county.
I just won't go, right? Exactly.
Right.
I just won't go.
Or I will go if I want to raise my kids.
Exactly. If I go to Utah, I can't find a freaking coffee shop because caffeine is a sin. Okay, fine. I'll just know that. I'll go somewhere else. I'll go to Vegas. No, I can't do it. That's how it should be.
Exactly.
And just like you go to someone's house, you have to tolerate whatever. But the problem with the media is their power is based on a centralized point of communication.
Right.
The corporations are central. Their power is this one single message that they can use to control
everybody.
It's a different state altogether. It's a different power structure that's sort of virtualized in the airwaves, right? And it's vying for power over the normal people. The geographical power, right? I mean, I don't know who's running all this stuff in the media. I mean, they don't really share my values, right?
Well, and that's the thing, right? I mean, I like to sit back and take the easy answers. Oh, George Soros. Maybe not. I don't know. I mean, like you said, you don't know who controls the production of paper clips. Right, but whoever that person is probably wielding a lot more power than any of us even understand. You know what I mean?
See, I don't mind if it actually helps to enlighten and helps to develop a conversation and brings about smarter people with newer ideas. I don't mind that, right? But that's not how this thing is being used, man. It's like it's our narrative. You don't have the airwaves, therefore, fuck your narrative. You're taking ours, right? Wait, who are you? Oh, we're the theys, we're the LGBTQIAXWZ, right? It's like, what the fuck? I don't like, I'm not into trannies, you're a bigot,
And so now we get to say, what's offensive, what's not offensive. You can't, I mean,
it's not good.
I just got jumped down my throat in court by the judge, by the commissioner, okay, because I said mental retardation. I'm a neurofeedback clinician, and I'm 57 years old. So I remember when it was okay to say mental retardation. In fact, I have been a neurofeedback clinician since it was okay to say retardation, because that was actually one of the things that we were trained to work on. Okay.
You're not allowed to anymore?
The change happened in 2019, and the judge jumped down my throat because I said retarded. Yes. The change happened in 2019.
You're not allowed to use the word retarded anymore.
You can't. Isn't that retarded?
Totally. No. If you can take a process and something's gone wrong with it, it's a retardation, right? So you're not allowed to identify any kind of retardation.
That's my point. Exactly. The development of my health center has been retarded because of the cost of my goods or whatever. You can't say anything, because someone finds it offensive. It's really ridiculous. And they've actually made this official in the California court system. So that's why she felt so, but you see, what she was doing, Counselor Wong Williams, what she was doing was showing me that, this is the side that I stand on. You see what I'm saying? I stand on the side of the neologisms, right? The neologisms, right? The new language. I'm on Big Brother's side. I made the stupid mistake of going to court with my Knight of Columbus sash on. So I'm showing you that, I'm obviously a conservative, right? I'm walking in there with my Catholic stuff on, thinking that makes me look like an honest person to the judge, who I'm presuming is an educated man, right? Which was totally stupid on my part, and not a person who was appointed by George Soros. And I hope she's watching. Okay,
so it really is. It's like a cult. I mean,
it's a total cult, man. It's a war. Yeah. It's a war, and she stood biased, completely biased against me from day fucking one. It's as though she really saw, fuck right or wrong, fuck justice, fuck any objective understanding of justice in this world. Take off the fucking blinders. Take the blinders off the statue. You are on the right, and I am on the left, and this is a leftist globalist revolution, and I am taking part. Yes.
That brazen, huh?
Yes. She had splooge from George Soros all over her face. Okay. She had the splooge of George Soros all over her face. Yeah, it's really gotten to that point.
How old is she? How old?
Salt and pepper hair. So I'd say about my age, maybe a little bit younger.
So where'd she get this from? What school she go to? Do you know?
You can look her up, Geraldine Wong Williams. So she's a Chinese American, hopefully married to a black man, but probably married to a white man.
You see like a short hair.
Geraldine Wong Williams, kind of brownie, kind of brown skin.
Yeah, wait a second. I see one of her with like kind of a short hair.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of like a dyke looking.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, maybe she has a wife. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah. Maybe maybe she's married to a black.
I see this. So basically, they got this through let me find out what school she went to real quick. Okay. So this is I gotta tell you, man. This is a big. I'm gonna close the door because I don't want some people to hear.
Yeah.
Hang on a second. So my brother, moved to Utah with his kids and his wife, right? And he was working while his wife was going to law school, right? University of Utah, stuff like that. And they raised 3 beautiful girls, well, healthy and everything like that, right? When she was going through her exam and stuff like that, they took my mom to live with them, right? Because it helped. My mom helped with the babysitting, right? And the cooking. So it was really helpful, So they were there. But then when they were finished with school, when she was finished with school, she went through law school while my brother was working, supporting everything. They said, okay, well, Mom, we don't need you anymore, right? So basically, where's she going to go? She went to end up in New York and everything, right? But okay. But, so Marlene, the wife, right? She's always been kind of a leftist thingy, I've always been into yoga shit and, all this, new age shit, Krishna. Particularly Indian,
Yeah.
So, at one point or another, I just heard that, look, they're filing for a divorce or something like that, right? So I was calling my brother and saying, how'd that come about? Why are you guys filing the divorce? Said, she just doesn't, is just not reacting anymore or whatever like that. And she basically, I actually asked them, why are you guys okay? Why are you going through the divorce? basically, she decided that my brother was not satisfying her anymore. See? So my brother wasn't really doing anything for her, right? And she needed more. And she was, to be honest,
White woman?
no, she's Filipino, right?
Really?
Yeah. So basically, she just felt like she needed more cock, right?
Who's she been hanging with?
I have no idea, but she was, she's been going through these law schools and stuff like that. Right?
Yeah, I mean, because in Utah, how could she get girlfriends that will give her that bullshit in Utah?
I don't know. I mean, let me give you her profile. Oh wait, hang on a second. Time out.
Yeah, you can share it.
Actually, you know what? We're actually live, right?
Yeah. Now,
I'll show you the links. But what I'm telling you is that just the phenomenon of like, it's from the same woman, same vein as what you're telling me.
You see, man, and this is from the traditional Filipino culture. This is what really breaks my heart. Because it was usually, finding a nice foreign girl was the refuge for American guys, right? Like you want to find a girl who's raised in a culture that knows how to treat you right and doesn't have all of this feminist bullshit. Now you're telling me that.
Oh no! Particularly the same thing. The whole sort of, I think they're taught in school that if you're a woman, you're freaking oppressed. Right?
That's what I'm saying.
You need to break through your oppression.
Dude,
and
yes.
to break, whether or not you're oppressed or not, for your liberation, you have to pounce on the man, right? Whatever, it doesn't matter what that gets you. It could fuck up your own life, but at least you pounced on the man.
Right.
Right. And that's the name of the game, right? I was just watching a Netflix show about this girl who goes to Italy, and every fucking Netflix show, I was telling Sabine, I called the script. It was so fucking predictable, right? The story is going to unravel where that white guy is going to be really the bad guy, the dad. And then, there's this lesbian couple with sort of a kind of like a ambiguous sort of kid. Those are going to be the hero. I called it out. It's the same fucking story, every day, right?
The same agenda.
The same agenda. That's the narrative there. That there's no. You can pick up any Netflix show, and it's the same message. It bores the shit out of me, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's like it's not entertainment. It's just like a weird freaking indoctrination channel. And just think that you got paid for this shit. No.
And then you wonder who is at the top pulling these strings. I wish I could make it so easy as to say, oh, it's one of the Rothschilds, or it's George Soros, or somebody like that. But and what is that person's, or what is their fucking deal, man?
Okay, so a couple of insights that I have about this, or a couple of feeling that I can't pin it down, right? But I think we are kind of thinking in terms of world power as a structure of values where you're comparing one after the other and you pick the better value, right? That's how we think of the structure of power is, right? You got a better proposition, this and that. But the truth of the matter is we don't know how much of it is actually based on blackmail, right?
Yeah.
How much of it is based on, if you don't do this shit, this is what you're going to get. Therefore, you better do this shit, right? There's a lot we don't see, man. There's a lot of, if you really look at what Epstein and Ghislaine were doing, it's a honeypot, right?
Yeah, of course.
Right.
And then
So,
they get you to do something that is so abhorrently wrong on every level to any culture. It's so beyond the Overton window, right? I mean,
exactly. They're controlling the Overton. That's the whole point.
I got videos.
Yeah, the whole point is they're using these people to manipulate the Overton window, right?
Right.
That's the name of the game. The Overton. I mean, that's why they're pissed off at Trump because the hotel Russia prostitutes peeing on him. He's dead, right? and he lived, right?
He survived that, and we still don't know who were all of the people that were on all of the videos in Epstein's apartments. Who were all of those people that were on his flight list going to his island?
So imagine like Herbert Hoover collected all this information of all kinds of sexual deviancy in all kinds of people. That's all he really did, right? Herbert Hoover with the FBI, he himself was sort of like a cross-dresser, right? He used to collect information about sexual habits of particular people. No one really knows why, but he has a database of who's doing what, so that he can actually call it out when he needs to. He has all these people in his pocket, right? So you can now imagine losing that much power overnight because of what? Fucking Trump. That's what we're seeing here. Because Trump proved, you can actually free yourself from that shit.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so the pull, it weakened, it devalued a lot of this shit.
Yeah.
I think that's what's really happening. And so the levers of power, Trump causes them to be very unstable, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And so now they pulled out all of the big guns, including the virus, including the vaccine.
Oh yeah.
Everything. They pulled out all of the big guns.
Yeah, to try to regain control over this. You're trying to reassert. Authority.
It's a great time to be alive. It's a very interesting time to be alive.
It is. And the thing is, like I said, a lot of these arguments, we get caught up in pro, anti, abortion up to birth or woman's choice. That's really not where it is. It's just dividing us so that we can there's actually this is to distract us while they're doing something else, you see.
Right. I'm telling you, man, I'm nervously looking at the monetary system because we're not going to have any warning. If the monetary system falls out from under us, it's not going to happen gradually where everybody's going to start making runs on the bank and shit like that. No.
Right. I think so. I think you have to regain control over your own life and the story of your own life, or what you do, what you need to. Not so much how they've laid it out for you. I think that's the only way you can really do this, man. I think for example, when the economy in Argentina collapsed, right?
Yeah.
Smart people created a bartering system, right? So they continue to function, right?
See, we're going to have to do that. The
problem is, Devin, you have to be set up and preparing for that now.
I know.
You don't want to do this. The problem is, if you're preparing for something after it's happened, it's too late, right?
Absolutely.
What you could do is actually start bartering on sort of like a local level. It could be very simple between, someone producing eggs, someone producing milk, or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Someone cutting hair, someone doing plumbing, But actually start. I think ultimately it'll kind of come down to that. You need to. That's how the people are able to survive, right?
Yeah.
The other opposite, the other opposite extreme is probably in Italy, right, where the governments have been kind of like they say, oh yeah, fuck you guys, you're on your own, right? There you had local communities that stepped up, right? But then you also had the mafioso, the families coming up, right? Taking care of each other.
Well, they were already organized, right?
Yeah, they're taking care of each other, taking care of their loved ones, right? Yeah. And so yeah. The thing is, this is what I think the whole LGBT stuff is to erase all those local level power structures. It makes everything much more easier to manage, right?
Yeah. There's
no identities. There's no culture that they're a Netflix or an Amazon viewer,
Balkanized. Yeah. Separate everybody.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's easier to control, right?
Totally. Get rid of the family structure. Get rid of the family unit.
Break up families. Break up local communities. Leave people as individuals who are, at your whim, basically, who are dependent on you.
Disintegrate the common language, right? Right now, manipulate the language. So now you got to think twice whether you want to call a man sir or ma'am. Now you got to think about a person's chosen pronouns. You can't really even convey any intelligent thought because your mind is going to go into fight or flight by overwhelming itself. Your critical faculty is going to become overwhelmed. Basically, it puts you in a state of hypnosis. Your critical faculty
no,
becomes
exactly it.
you're
It is.
overwhelmed. You're overwhelmed with
Yeah. It's shifted.
trying to manipulate. Yeah.
The information that you're getting is not of any use,
And it's hard for you to even express any information of value if you have to constantly have to juggle your mind through neologisms,
Exactly.
just to express yourself.
Exactly.
Which is exactly what happened to me in court, right?
Yeah, it is hypnosis. There's this one guy, an American, that moved in here to Switzerland at one point. I was actually trying to befriend him. He was having trouble. He was having a hard time sort of integrating here. But I used to go drinking with him and get high with him. He was kind of like, he was kind of losing it, man. But he said that his dad was an FBI agent, right? And this guy toured in a rock band most of his life and everything like that. But what he was telling me that his dad was telling him about a program for what was it, Project Butterfly or something like that, where they were basically or was aware of a certain project where these people were actually taking children, right, submitting them to shock, all kinds of weird shock, and it causes a split in personality, right?
Ooh.
And when they get that split in personality of what their identities are, it makes it easier to train them on cue and on demand. They become better actors and actresses. That's what he was telling me with this program, and he said he went through this, right? And I mean, he was just kind of. I don't really believe half of what he said, but the concept that he's talking about is about breaking down the identity of a person, allows you to more easily replace it on demand.
Well, that's all it is, man. Because if you're living in a world where you can't even use language the way you were raised and taught to use language, then that suddenly puts you, a foreigner in a foreign land that speaks a foreign tongue.
Yeah, exactly right.
And
you get more dependent.
Of course, you're completely disoriented. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
You can't be possibly comfortable within the world within which you live anymore, because you can't even speak anymore. You can't even speak the language that you were raised to speak.
So I think we're seeing a lot of that now because culture has been replaced by digital shit, right?
Yeah.
That shift is already happening, right?
Yeah.
The issue is how do you actually survive this, right?
Well, I mean, how do we survive it? I mean, I'm in my mind, man. I'm just assuming that it's going to be overthrown, and I'm just surprised that nobody's doing anything. But I mean, I just don't, But then again, I had the paradigm that a black man could never become president at one time. You know what I mean? So, I don't know, man. I really don't think that it, I don't know. I don't know how we survive. I don't know.
Look, I think the basic, it's not like the basic tenet if you're consuming, depends on where you're getting your information from, right? That you're dependent on this. You're dependent on this structure or concepts or things that they're producing. You're dependent on this website. You're depending on this tool.
Well, you see, man, we're dependent on we're dependent on the belief that is subjective, right? And we don't have that anymore. And whether you're on the left or on the right, we're all smart enough to realize that we don't have that anymore. We don't have that anymore. We don't have, we had the better illusion of objectivity when it was just CBS, NBC, and ABC competing with each other on who could be more factual, right?
So there you go. The problem is back then, and for us, we had like a few views of the world, right? But what's the population of Earth now, right?
8 billion?
There's no possible way you can have something with one voice for all 8 billion people, right?
Well, yeah, and like I said, we had the illusion that those guys were competing with each other to be factual, and so therefore somewhere between the three of them we were going to get to the truth.
Right. Exactly.
But now we all know that no matter how many channels there are, no matter how many websites there are, it's still coming from one voice. We all know
Or
that.
it's never going to hit it. It's never going to be in the right place. Yeah, exactly. Even if it's coming from one, even if there were 1,000 web channels.
That's what I'm saying. There's more. It's more consolidated now with gazillions of outlets than it was when there were only 3 channels of TV and maybe 1 or 2 UHF.
So I think my point is that we kind of got hooked and trained on the idea that part of our thinking and reality would be coming from this sort of conversational sphere that's happening, public discourse, right? But I think that's a mistake now, right? I don't think our reality should be coming from the public discourse area unless you're directly contributing to it, right? Otherwise, it's not yours. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, see, that's the thing, right?
I mean, that's what you're trying to do with the channels. I see you.
Yeah.
You are trying to contribute to public discourse, right? Or you see some of these personalities with blogs, right? But those are their blogs. But I think the idea that you would kind of sit back and just have it handed down to you, well, you're better off ignoring it, right? Than turning up on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Better finding other channels. None of these should play your God, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, the thing is, man, I remember, one of the things I loved about Otis, right, about being in art school, is that they would give you assignments, and then the essence of the assignment, the creative assignment, are the restrictions, right? Like,
right.
You can only work in certain materials, or you can only work within certain size, or, whatever, right? And to work within those restrictions kind of made the difference between who was a real artist and who wasn't a real artist, right?
That's right.
Who could work within those and come out with some really powerful, beautiful pieces. And I'm trying my best, man, to apply that same mindset to this little tap dance that we're doing now, right? Don't talk about this. Don't talk about that. Don't talk about. But how can I, as a holistic health guy, not talk about something that's going to offend somebody in that realm? How can I not? You see what I'm saying? If I'm telling people how to stay healthy naturally, I was doing this before y'all decided to do that.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Right? Yeah. I was doing this before y'all decided to do that. Right?
Yeah.
Right. Your shit came up on my career, not the opposite way around.
Yeah.
Right.
So the other part is, I guess, what's really important to have is to compartmentalize, right? This crap that we're seeing, right?
Yeah.
From your real personal life, right?
Well, and so so that's what I'm thinking. Okay. So now I'm back to 3 channels because they gave me my original Devin Lockett channel back, which is what we're on right now, which is great. Now I'm back to what I was doing even before holistic health, which was what I was doing back in film school, which was working toward quality, whether it was bikini model stuff or whether it was thematic stuff that was narrative that I was trying to put out, right? All right, so let's kind of move more toward that, and I'm willing to do that, but we're still in the same new territory, where think about how many words you can't even say now. That's crazy. People are tripping, worrying about tripping an algorithm and whatever, and this what we're doing right now, online and YouTube and whatever, this is our new mode of broadcasting and our new mode of communication. So, what they're trying to do is really, really seize control in order to say, hey, look, man, don't you MFers get to thinking that, communication is truly democratized. Right. Don't start feeling too comfortable. You know what I mean? We still control what's on TV now. You know what I mean? Don't get too comfortable, and we're still watching. And I'm thinking, well, damn, man, because my shit gets flagged all the time. I mean, this video might get flagged.
Right, someone must be flagging it, though.
That's what I'm saying, man. I mean, because I don't really I get like 4 or 5 views on each fucking video. So I'm like, one of you 5 motherfuckers turned me in. So
For
I
what?
mean, for what? Right? And it's like why, one of half a dozen people is actually sitting down critically looking and listening at every word that I say to rat me out to YouTube. You know what I mean? Or does YouTube actually have somebody that's sitting down doing it? You see what I'm saying? And then that kind of makes me think about Fidel Castro's Cuba, where 1/3 of the population was on payroll spying on the other 2/3. 1/3 of the population was sitting in
We're doing this. Is
phone.
this being recorded? Is it being stored anywhere? We don't know that, do we?
I mean, if it's being put on YouTube, then yeah, it's on their servers.
Is this on YouTube or what?
Yeah, it's on YouTube.
Oh, okay. So it is being stored on the servers.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Which is another question. Like,
I didn't know that, but
who could afford? See, this is where it becomes tyrannical because it's obviously a monopoly. Yes, there are other video channels, but who can afford to host, right? Up to 4K, and you know what I mean? You know, indefinitely. I mean, you can upload shit all day, every day. And everybody else can too. Where is all of this storage coming from, man? Isn't this something that's constantly growing? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But so they're figuring, well, we have control of this. It's going to be very hard to catch up. I don't even think Donald Trump has enough money if he wanted to come out against YouTube and start another YouTube. I mean, where you're actually hosting videos, right? He may have enough rich buddies on the right that can get behind him and invest in such, and maybe actually, pull Elon Musk in with him. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, because that's just storage, right? Most of it is storage versus the algorithm, right?
Storage and bandwidth, man.
Yeah.
We don't ever have a speed problem coming from YouTube ever.
Yeah.
If you have a problem, it's your problem. It's not YouTube. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And everybody knows that. So that's what I'm saying. So it's a behemoth, right?
Yeah.
It's a behemoth, and it's doing what it can. It's doing what it's doing because it has the market share that it has. And remember, it's still part of Google, right? YouTube is the number 2 search engine in the world, and Google is the number 1 search engine. And that's by design. So they got us. They got us by the short and curlies. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Unless, like I said, I don't know what kind of money they deserve competition. And I'm on BitChute, and I have accounts on all of the other channels. Of course, I don't take my time. I don't go live. I don't go live on all of the other platforms and stuff. Just doing this takes up a lot of time. You know what I mean? But who knows? Who knows? Elon Musk just supposedly purchased Twitter, but have you noticed any difference?
Did he buy Twitter, Elon Musk?
Supposedly, yeah. They were having some problem because Twitter didn't represent correctly how many of their accounts were bogus accounts, right?
Yeah, I think I don't know what he's doing with that, but the thing is, I don't know if that was like some sort of impulse. Here's the thing, all right? So check this out. I don't know if that was some sort of impulse thing to try to control that, or there was some other use for the Twitter account. Because here's the thing. Imagine this, right? He has Tesla automobiles, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And then he has this thing called Starlink, a Starlink system, right? And these are an array of satellites that float around a low orbit with really fast bandwidth, right? And then he has launching mechanism. He's really in a very interesting position to create telemetry applications like no one else does, right? if he was able to combine all those three, even I don't know how the Teslas communicate online, right? But the Teslas with their sensors could potentially be wherever they are, could potentially be gathering sensor information about that location and then sending it back somewhere in real time, so that you can get a better idea what the conditions are at that location.
Right.
Whether it's traffic jam or
right. Up to the minute. Right, exactly.
Yeah. I mean, you can back it up with satellite
Yeah,
imagery.
because AI is artificial intelligence, being shared. It's a shared brain.
Well, the AI is actually sort of, the thing is, this is just the richness of the data that's coming in through the system, right? It's real time, anywhere it exists, worldwide, right? It could be anywhere. So when you talk about AI, it's doing some sort of either some sort of processing or analysis of the data, right? Even before it does that, the question is how he's going to merge those 3 or 4 different pieces into something a better offer. Because the truth of the matter is, here in Europe, we have this Croatian guy who started an EV company called Rimac. Got funding from Volkswagen and a couple of European car manufacturers, Porsche and whatever, and they have their own EV offering, right? The Indians have their own electric vehicle offering, right? The Chinese have their own, and you have Ford. Elon Musk is going to be facing an onslaught of competition really soon because they're starting to release, the other models, right? Tesla's not going to be the only game in town, right? The only thing that Elon Musk can do when all these other competitors go online is to take a innovation jump with the product, right? He's going to have to do something better than just an EV, right? So how does he leverage the connectivity part of it in a way that other companies cannot, right? So, I mean, GM could have an electric pickup, right? But if it's not really giving you the same connectivity, the Tesla still kind of beats it in functionality. Right?
Yeah.
So the question is, what? I mean, I don't know what. He's not an idiot, right? He didn't buy Twitter just to be, playing around or something. He's doing something with it. Right?
Yeah, he had to have some plan for it. I don't know what that is.
And I doubt it's just to get back at the libs or something, or just to own the libs.
No. It had to be something, and he could have very easily built a competitor to Twitter. This is what I don't understand. I mean, you're hiring programmers and buying computers. I don't see what the big deal is.
I don't even know what they have as far as infrastructure, right?
Tesla?
Twitter.
Oh, Twitter, yeah.
I don't know what kind of infrastructure they even have that's even worthwhile, but it's definitely overpriced, right?
Right,
yeah?
right.
Yeah. Have you ever looked at the history of Twitter and where it came from and what it's done in the past?
I've seen a couple of YouTube videos, and I don't want to just sit through the whole story. You know what I mean?
Okay. Well, basically, it has some pretty mysterious background. It started. Do you remember flash mobbing? Right?
Yeah.
And then people would go out and dance in Central Park or something.
Or a pillow fight or whatever. Yeah.
They all come up spontaneously. So Twitter kind of came up from this idea of this short message to a lot of people. It was actually trying to answer that area, but then it actually got very political. It was actually it showed up really early on as a tool for activists in the Middle East for the Arab Spring, right? In fact, what started off there was a journalist who was arrested in Egypt, or an activist arrested who used his Twitter account and said a short message, something like "they got me" or something like that. And because of that, it unleashed a whole series, a chain of events that drew attention. It triggered a whole bunch that drew attention to that situation. It actually got him out. It put pressure on Egypt and a whole bunch of other things, right? Twitter has always been used, and Facebook as well, right? If you look at the history of it, it's been used for disrupting countries, right? It's been used for disrupting the
Oh,
Ukraine.
it
for
had power. Yeah, it had power.
disrupting Libya. It's been used for disrupting Egypt or Syria or that's what it was. It's being used on the U.S., right?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, it is. So basically, there is that use for social engineering, right? Yeah. So I don't know what Elon Musk is doing, but the idea that Elon Musk is a staunch sort of conservative, I'm not buying that.
I don't buy that either.
He's actually a liberal. He's been funding the Democrats for the longest time. If anything, he does understand people need to work, right? It's like,
He's a staunch Elonist, right?
Yeah, he's an Elonist.
He's an Elonist. Whatever's going to work toward what with his next
his ego.
Right, exactly. Because a lot of the projects that fund him are really kind of socialistic in nature. You know what I mean?
Getting government funding for stuff. Oh, absolutely.
Of course.
So NASA, tunnels, Mars. Yeah. But yeah. I don't know what he's doing there, but we'll see.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I guess things are changing pretty quickly. I don't know which way is this. I used to feel like I had some idea where things are going. I don't. I do know. I have a sense of what things are falling apart. That's the only thing I have.
That's all.
Yeah.
That's all. I mean, I'm tired of even analyzing the whole Taiwan thing. I wish they'd just get it over with already. You know what I mean? I don't know what's going on with Ukraine. I don't really think that's important. I don't really understand why anybody thinks that's important. I think a lot of the people, a lot of the Democrats here are really second guessing the whole. The most, hardcore Democrat actually wants to re-elect Biden himself. So, and we're not going to put in cackling Kamala.
You're not going to like my take on all this as far as what's going on. I think all of this is actually trying to prepare us for some upcoming discomfort.
Right. That's what I see. Like a consolidation of North America between Canada, Mexico, and the United States.
I think we're gonna see. I think we're gonna see further restrictions on other things, right? Not just in the movement of stuff, even in stuff that we eat.
Well, that's why Gates is buying up all of the farmland, man.
Right, but even if Gates buying up all the farmland, what's he producing in that stuff? It's still gonna. I mean, look, we'll probably get some sort of alternative, you'll be offered some meat substitute or something.
Can you imagine that, man?
No, I imagine it's happening right now.
Synthesized meat products.
It's happening now, right?
Like spam and Spurky, right? The Spurky. Spam and Spurky.
But I mean, not only that. I mean, even in the things that we do in the house.
Fish. Big fish meat. Oh my god.
I mean, they're doing it now. I mean, basically, they this is we're gonna have to see. That's why I'm really glad about what Clarence Thomas did, to a point that at least I
can see the Japanese man. I can
a fighting chance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can see the Japanese making sushi out of synthetic meats that look like Rubik's cubes. Because it'll all just be little square cubes all put together of different flavors, but it'll be what comprises the piece of sushi. You know what I mean?
I mean, look. To be honest with you, I think what's going to happen is a vast majority would have the new burger, right?
Yeah.
But the fact of the matter is, they're still going to be eating steaks in the other areas, right?
Oh yeah, there's going to still be people, rich people, with land and horses and their own bulls and cows, and you can go to their house and get a good old glass of scotch and a glass of red wine and a steak, a nice bloody steak and a joint and smoke it. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
My house, for example, right?
I mean, but I think that's we may start seeing some depletion in supplies, and I mean we're seeing it now, right?
Yeah, but I mean, I'm thinking, okay, this is obviously manufactured. When I look at I still look at the maritime map, okay, and maybe I can pull it up now and share it and see it at this very moment. But I still look at the maritime map and see all of these ocean things. You know, I was like, man, you know, this is just some COVID hype. You know what I mean? They were just deliberately keeping all of these ships out in the water. I mean, if you look at it now, this is absurd. And I'm going to share this window here. Let me see if I can do that. Pull it separately. There we go. Open it up fully. Come back to us. Yeah, man. Let's see here. Share. Slides, extra camera, video file. Oh, so it doesn't let you... Nope. Oh, share screen. Okay, here we go. Window. There we go. Bam. Look at this, man.
Wow, what's that?
This is where every one of these little these are ships, man.
Cool.
Look at this. Not cool. Look at this. Between us and China. Look at this.
Oh, of course.
Look, what if China decided, even around the Philippines, what if China decided to attack Taiwan? Look at Taiwan right there.
Oh, yeah.
How could our Navy get anywhere? Look at this, man. Look at that. So, I mean, like I'm saying, you know, China's reannexation or whatever of Taiwan it's already written. It's already done. Yeah. Yeah, it's already done. We could forget about that. What are we going to do? Look at this, man. More than 20% of the stuff that's in commerce is here in the water. The stuff that's perishable, they might as well dump it in the ocean. You know? The stuff that's not, all of the electronics, all of the dry goods, all of the things that are canned, all of the things that can last longer, that's all sitting out. This is a global problem. This is a global manufactured problem. Look, even here in the Indian Ocean.
Wait. Is this normal?
No, this is not normal, man. This is absurd amount of sea traffic.
But that's just because there's a lot of boats. I mean, it's always been like that. Each one's a boat, huh?
Yeah, each one's a ship. Each one's a ship. But no, man, I mean, it's supposed to, I mean, I'm not saying there are not supposed to be any points in the water. Of course they are. But this amount of shipping congestion is ridiculous. And this is what's the cause of our, our supply chain problems. And, you know, if our president is telling us, oh, well, it's the guys working on the shipyards, or the guys working here, or it's the truckers, or it's these other guys, or whatever, okay, that's fine, but what about these other countries? Their truckers are lazy too.
No, I mean, Biden, it's pretty clear what the Democrats are doing, man. They're dialing down the U.S. I mean, it's pretty clear, you know? I mean, for the longest time, you know, we've been supposedly we've taken an exorbitant proportion of resources, right?
Right.
You know, pollution and everything. This is all a process of dialing that down.
Well, yeah, that's what they're trying to do.
Yeah. I mean, Biden's in on. I mean, that's exactly his plan.
And then disarming, right? Disarming Americans is part of that too, right?
Totally.
Yeah.
So they can't complain, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, they can't effectively complain.
Yeah.
My God.
Wow.
Yeah. So
On the map, that's huge. Yeah.
I mean, that's.
But
huge,
anyway, so Devin, the thing is though that I think we've always known the problem is when you're kind of thinking that this should be a lot more stable than it is right now, because of like, let's just say it's always been this turbulent, right? It's number one. We just hear there's more people, so there's more entropy in the whole system. There's more information going through, so we hear about more, right? But the fact of the matter is, it's always been in the process of change, right? The only question right now is what are you going to do with yourself, right? I don't think you can actually. Yeah, that's really it. They're going to do what they're going to do. The key point is, what are you going to do? What should you do? What's the coolest thing to do by yourself?
Well, the thing is, man, I'm coming to the harsh realization that, me doing me as I understood it before this globalist revolution required the existence of a functional economy around me to support me. And I grew up and, in the last 50 years, right, 57 years, right, being totally supported and spoiled with a functioning, popping, moving, vibrant economy. And therefore, if you had the balls to do some entrepreneurial shit, then there was a high likelihood, if you had a good work ethic underneath you, there was a high likelihood of success. And people understand that of every culture and every race. I mean, everybody understands it about America. But now that's being, it's not only dialing it down, man. We're being choked out.
Oh yeah, that's really you're being choked out.
We're being choked out.
Yeah. I think part of it is that's been the source of the source of our creativity, right? But like you said earlier, the restriction part that you had in art school, you can only do certain things like charcoal or stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's gonna be kind of like that, right? You figure out what you can do with the limitations. And then here's another thing too. The other part is that.
But like I said, try to work within the parameter, the restrictions of the assignment, right? Try to work within the parameters.
How many people live in Los Angeles? 7 million?
7 million easily. Probably 9 by now, man, easily. I mean, if you count Orange County, if you count Greater Los Angeles, the Valley, Orange County, LA, and the Inland Empire, yeah, you got at least 9 million people.
Southern California. I think that's a lot of people, man.
Yeah.
And
bigger than many countries, actually.
Southern California, all the way to about 23 million. That whole
wow, more than double what I expected. Wow.
Yeah. So I mean, here's the thing: those protesters, chanting "My body, my choice," right?
Yeah.
They have a point, right? It is their body. It is their choice.
Yeah, no, absolutely, man. I mean, hey, they were, they were on the college campus ready to have some irresponsible sex.
Exactly right.
Who am I, right? I mean, me being the gentleman that I am, I have no choice but to oblige, right?
Yeah, exactly right. So it's the same way. I mean, we kind of grew up. We didn't go around only doing things we've been allowed to, right? That's not America, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's what freedom sounds like. That's what freedom sounds like. They don't have to agree with me to have the right. Like I said, I am from the old school. I don't agree with you, but I will fight to the death to defend your position to express yourself.
Yeah, exactly. It's just a fact of the matter, whether you like it or not. Just that people are going to do shit like that. But I guess what I'm saying is, the story that they're spinning, even these little things that they're doing, the price of gas, certain things that whatever, you don't actually have to wait on every single thing. You can still do your own shit, right? In other words, you could still be creative or whatever it is that comes your way.
Well, see, that's really that's really my vision, right, for the future, right? Not only for the Black American Party, but for everybody, right? Is that we can become, I'm looking at Earth ships, right? People building these off the grid autonomous structures that use solar and they grow their own food and they dig wells and get their own water and have solar panels and pump it up and water towers and all the rest of this shit. And I think that's a beautiful thing. Except I believe that there's a good purpose for being on grid too, if the grid is actually functioning, because we also have the ability to take advantage of globalism and globalization. We, as individuals, can take advantage of globalization, just like Gates and Microsoft made Office in the Office suite of programs, which empowered all of us as individuals to run businesses out of our homes. Now we can run international businesses like biometrics, right, out of our homes. And if we can actually obtain a good piece of earth on the planet, a good piece of land wherever you live, be it in Switzerland, be it in the United States, be it anywhere in the land, where you actually could possibly survive off grid if you had to, then that gives you the autonomy, the independence. You know, the old fashioned, the chateau, the French chateau.
So I think having variations of possibilities is a good thing to have. Yeah, being able to I think the key there is that being conscious and aware of what's coming down tomorrow, right? And having enough time and resources to react. And
that's what shields you from everything, right? By having that self-sustaining chateau, right? Having that self-sustaining, you got your own wine, your own food growing, you got your own animals, and you can do international business when the infrastructure is working well.
Yeah, exactly. So I think part of it is being the capability. There's a capability part and the resources of being able to act and react. But a lot of this too, as far as dealing with what's coming down, the unknown. The name of the game is being prepared, right?
Right.
You can't prepare for something that's already happened. You know.
Yeah. No, you can't.
I see a business opportunity. You're not prepared. You're not getting it.
And we have to live in a state of preparedness. And the only ones that are actually doing that are our beloved redneck friends, man. And we have to look at this. The number.
They don't take it for granted. Right?
No, they don't. They homestead. They'll put a trailer out in the middle of nowhere and then build a beautiful house next to it, brick by brick. And then once that house is built, it's paid for at the same time. You know,
exactly. They do a lot of stuff themselves.
The number one car of the typical African American man is a BMW or a Mercedes luxury vehicle. The number one car of the white guy is the Ford F-150 pickup, and that is the truth. Yeah. That's a fact.
The sad part is, BMWs are great when your roads are really nice and clean, right? You know, right. Look at the potholes in LA. You can't even
navigate a nice car. No, it's not even worth it. And on top of that, you have to be willing to homestead. You have to be willing to do the unglamorous, right? You have to be willing to go way out, and you're not going to be able to show off what you're doing for your neighbors. And you may have to live in a trailer or for a couple of years while you build your house.
So what you're describing there is what your operating mode, right? What you need to operate and what have you. When you're dependent on, you need a city to do your shit.
Yeah, yeah.
Then something breaks down. You're broken down with it. That's the issue. Right?
Well, see, that's the beautiful part about it, man. Because I was watching a show about it was a movie about lottery winners, and the only person that I saw that did what seemed like it made sense to me was this Vietnamese guy. And they followed all of these lottery winners that completely went from rags to riches. And this one Vietnamese guy, he and his wife built a little town. And they had houses for all of his kids. Yeah, and they were all like in a cul-de-sac and stuff, and they had offices and stuff and whatever. And he was the only person on the whole movie that actually made sense out of the money he made.
And I bet you he went through the Vietnam War.
Of course. Of course. He was a war he was a war refugee, right? He and his wife both. And when they won the lottery, he knew exactly, he had his plan from day one. It wasn't a shopping day. It wasn't anything. They bought land. They broke ground. They said the houses are going here. The offices are going here. The warehouse is going there. And bam. And that was one of the things that contributed to my understanding of this. It's like, well, wait a minute, man.
So check this out. All these, I mean, compare the resiliency of one person that guy who's been to war and where he is now to someone who freaks out because of a bad headline in the newspaper.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
We lost our rights,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
The resiliency of character between the two.
Yeah.
That's a huge fucking difference, man.
And this man's probably not even thinking about politics, man. He wasn't.
Exactly.
You could mention city council. You could mention the mayor. You could mention the Supreme Court, and he was like, "Man, does this have anything to do with whether or not I'm going to get my permit so I can pour my concrete next week or not?"
Right. Yeah, I mean, so for some, it's like their Facebook profile or their Instagram account or what, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that, that's a key factor that we need to actually get a handle on the resiliency of your life force, right? The problem is if your life force is dependent on this artificial layer, then it would die without that artificial layer. You are as precarious as that artificial layer.
If you're plugged in, yes. If you're so plugged in that you
just have to be. You have to be able to plug in. You have to be able to survive when you're plugged out.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. So you got to know that though, because if you're only going to function when there's Starbucks, right? You're going to be in a lot of pain when that disappears.
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot of people going through that. You're going to see them all around you crying.
So you need a school and you need a library on your land too. You have to have a good school. Yeah.
I mean, my bet is a lot of this is going to fall apart. There's going to be a lot of needs, right? A lot of the infrastructure is keeping people sustained in their psychological life, which they confuse with their real life and biological life, right? It's just like some sort of subsistence, right? A lot of that's going to collapse. And as that collapses, these people lose identity. They run into identity issues,
Well, they're going to have to, right? Because their identity depends on the I don't want to even say the word zeitgeist, but it does. It's the damn
it's a
zeitgeist.
layer of information. Their identity depends, and their life force depends on a layer of information, right? When that layer of information is ephemeral, it's just vapor, right?
Yeah.
When that gets zapped out, right, the identity goes with it. You don't want to be there, basically. You don't want your identity based on a layer that's a thin layer of information in electrons, right?
Yeah,
basically. Because that when the power switch goes off and that's not there.
Well, that's my point. Or if there's some kind of a pulse or whatever, right? That just erases everything. It's just like Bitcoin. It's the same thing with getting too much into crypto. It's like, well, I'd be careful with that shit if I were you.
I mean, the Bitcoin still, if it stays in one place, there's a certain permanence in that record, right?
Yeah.
Because it's just a number and a serial number. I mean, there are a lot more unstable situations than Bitcoin, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of stocks are unstable. A lot of perceived hyped up values are unstable,
Now they're letting people use Bitcoin to buy houses, man.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah, because you can still kind of translate it. But I was just reading about Mark Hamill of Star Wars, Luke Skywalker, right? His value of Mark Hamill, Luke Skywalker, fucking icon.
Yeah.
And he started posting about how these people, these pro-lifers are such whatever. And it turns out he was trying to get his wife, girlfriend, to get an abortion and stuff like that. And his value is based on his perceived sort of, popular, it's a celebrityhood, right?
He's got a girl pregnant at this moment. And he's trying to get her to have.
My point is the value of a celebrity is sort of like unless it's in cash value, is based on a perception value, right? When you wipe out that perception, there's nothing in it.
It's like his IMDb rating or whatever. Yeah,
exactly, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's like that. It's like that. So the thing is, finding out where your value is and what that's really the issue. Anyway, I should go now. It's about o'clock over here.
Well, cool, man. Thanks, man. It's been about an hour. It's cool. Have a good one, bro. Peace out.
All right, see you. Bye.
All right. So that's my man Marco Gonzalez out in Switzerland. Really good show. Really good show. I appreciate everybody watching. I appreciate everybody joining. And I hope you guys are having a great 4th of July weekend, a great 4th of July holiday. Wow, it's been an hour and 54 minutes. It's been almost 2 hours, actually. And it's been over 2 hours, 2 hours and 1 minute. Cool. This has been a great show. Well, I hope you guys, like I said, are having a great weekend. I want everyone to stay kind, right? Because kind is not only the new sexy, kind is the only sexy. I want everyone to stay blessed, and I want everyone to stay healthy, all right? I'm going to go live, I guess, tomorrow, but sometime between then, I want everybody to have a nice evening. Peace. Peace.